all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Air Jungle.
Good evening, and you are most welcome to Prime Television's main news bulletin. To present it, my name is Abigail Mtale. Here are the headlines. Enacts a new constitution, election observers urge government. Water challenges electrified at Mulungoshi University. ECZ announced results from 121 constituencies. And in international news, DR Congo protests over census turned deadly. For these and other stories, stay tuned. Now the main news in detail. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has continued to announce election results, showing PF Edgar Lungu with 701,089 votes, representing 48.72%. UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is second with 674,185 votes, representing 46.85%. Nawakwi Edith of Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD, managed to poll 11,770 votes with 0.82%. In announcing the results, ECZ chairperson Irene Mambilima says there are 29 constituencies remaining to be announced. Justice Mambilima indicated that so far the Commission has received results from 121 constituencies,
which have been verified, and the totals now, as at now, for the 125 constituencies is as follows. Lungu Edgar PF 701,089, 701,089, representing 48.72%. Hichilema Hakainde UPND 674,185, 674,185, representing 46.85%. Nawakwi Edith FDD 11,770, representing 0.82.
Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has expressed shock and dismay over the wrong election figures that ZNBC has been showing. According to ECZ, ZNBC has been showing wrong figures indicating that Patriotic Front is leading in some constituencies. There was also confusion regarding on who was responsible for transmitting wrong results. ECZ blamed ZNBC for transmitting wrong results, but ZNBC indicated that they were receiving the same results from ECZ. Meanwhile, ECZ briefing at Mulungushi Conference Center was delayed after concerns of fake results being inflated in favor of the system. UPND President Hakainde Hichilema says this prompted the meeting with ECZ, PF and UPND in an effort to ensure elections were fair.
They would have affected the integrity of the results of the presidential elections. And we instigated this meeting when we noted those issues. And PF came to the table, and PF, UPND, ourselves, and ECZ went through those issues. And in the end, we agreed that three parties will sit together to basically remedy those issues. And
what are the issues?
When they are remedied, we believe that it will improve the integrity of the results. And those issues will not disclose to you, with due respect. I mean, you are colleagues here, because that's what we've agreed, that we'll leave them like that. But there's a list of things that we've agreed. We've left people working, and there's a team working upstairs there. And before this work is done, no one will announce the results. Because the presidential constituency is 150 constituencies. So no one can claim anything until each one of these constituencies have had those issues dealt with. And when they're dealt with, they're brought to the table, and we can proceed on that basis. Otherwise, if there were no issues, we wouldn't be in the meeting we were. We would have not agreed the remedial actions we agreed. So there were issues. Three parties are sitting together: ECZ, UPND, ourselves, PF. And indeed, anyone else who ran in this race is free. But as you know, to be polite, not to demean anyone, the contest is between two candidates. And that's why the tripartite relationship, I think, was struck today to deal with those issues. And I think, as I said, the message is clear.
Earlier, the announcement of the results was delayed due to concerns raised by stakeholders regarding the process. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, had delayed the announcement of more constituency results due to a meeting that involved the ECZ and political stakeholders and lasted for about 3 hours. They involved the Patriotic Front, PF, and the United Party for National Development, UPND. ECZ Communications and Public Relations Manager Crispin Akufuna made the announcement a few moments ago. It is expected that the Commission is addressing the party's concerns as well as easing the situation for the inevitable disappointment of one of the parties. Akufuna said as soon as the meeting was over, the Commission will resume announcements. As the country awaits the news of who becomes its 60th president with counting of presidential election results entering the third day, trading in the country has been business as usual. A check around the city of Lusaka's Central District business area found traders conducting their businesses as per usual. The traders talked to say they played their role of voting and are aware that the results are not yet announced, but for them they have to continue with their businesses. They have, however, expressed concern that the election period has reduced their business flow as few people are able to get into town.
Yeah, pangara affected both. The neta nchilenge satana sinakamba pokoti tili kono isi. Pantu ngati zongala tabe mshe ngati sinibwera kokono. Ngani ndiche ko nyumba hapo. Yes kom.
Mukachoka hapa mzawana wa police wapita kube mtu anga pange chongo anga chite bwani. So for that watishitawo protect 77 autika 7 zako na peace. Even though antu we wabwera na ngono monga ise kuma basi ukwa tina ma difficulties chosa abantu makombo bwa mtaoni so but as for now hapa senza chebwino we are just waiting for the final announcement but she announce president and then we can proceed with our job and stuffs.
Kuloka kwenye election manje setapitiliza na business ivabuti tu na change ilipo nda same ni mmena zankalapo sizo abone vichitika so tapitiliza na business ngapaibana na njala.
The Zambia Police Service has warned against violence resulting from the final announcement of the presidential results. Police Service spokesperson Charity Munganga Chanda says the service is ready to deal with any political party cadres who will disturb the nation's peace. She says the police has deployed officers across the country to ensure that the Law Public Order Act is followed and that law and order is maintained in the country. And Ms. Munganga has advised political parties not to engage in early celebrations before the final results are announced. She says it is important that those wishing to hold public meetings do so under the law so as not to breach the order of public conduct.
I received reports of people celebrating prematurely in Southern Province and Lusaka, of course. But then Zambia Police would want to discourage this because this can be a source of anarchy. They have to wait until the only institution that is mandated to issue the pronouncement, which is the ECZ, does so. We know that there will be people that will not be satisfied with the outcome. But then our plea is that people should accept the results and tolerate what will have happened and not get engaged in any form of violent acts. Those that would want to assemble thereafter or have any form of public procession should inform us as police so that we are able to police the event, whatever kind it may be.
You are still watching Prime Television's main news bulletin with me, Abigail Mtale. Before we take a commercial break, here are the headlines once again. Enacts a new constitution election observers urge government. Water challenges electrified at Mulungoshe University. ECZ announced results from 121 constituencies. Do stay with us.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Freaky Fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We now continue with the news. The water challenges which had hit Mulungushi University in Kabwe has finally been electrified. This follows government's decision to pump in over 12 million kwacha towards the process of averting the water situation. Mulungushi University Vice-Chancellor Heli Singambi has confirmed the development to Prime TV News in Lusaka. Professor Ngambi says the school, which had closed indefinitely 3 months ago, will now resume classes in the first week of February.
The government responded positively by giving us some money to connect Chilwin Banks, which is 16 kilometers away from the university, which is very far. So that we get the pipes and everything else, and also as a result, of course, you have to take care of the tanks to store that water, harvest the water, and also the system that goes with the supply with the water. So everything else kept about 12 million or so that the government graciously gave us, which we are very, very grateful, because now the water situation has been addressed. We'll be having the water. The only last little things that are remaining is just to make sure that the water is disinfected, borehole water is disinfected, and everything else. By the time the students are coming, the distance students are coming on the 26th of January, and the full-time students are coming on the 15th of February. So by that time, at least, we know that the water situation has been taken care of, and just now the challenge is the challenge of the past. So we are very, very grateful to the government, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Finance, and of course the government through those ministries.
The public buses operators in Lusaka say they cannot reduce or hike prices till their transport representatives sit with the Minister of Transport for them to know the way forward. Kulimatawa bus station chairperson Stephen Silwamba says as bus drivers, they are aware of the fuel prices and they are working towards the reduction of prices. He says already there are some routes in Lusaka that have already reduced bus fare prices according to the distances that the buses cover from the stations. Mr. Silwamba has since appealed to the bus users to exercise patience, even as the bus representatives will sit with the transport department to discuss the way forward, and that by the end of next week, a new bus fare chart will be introduced.
Pali like ifra ngamna somewhere kwa kwati ni 35 na ba iwe sharp to 4 kwacha so era ma 14 ngwe dia now boy shako but like from where Udrans going to from town to Udrans it's 4 kwacha 50 ngwe. So there is a reduction they have done already, but so far so good. We are just waiting the clear picture on Monday, so that's when we'll be clear on that fare chart.
Some international observers monitoring the 2015 presidential by-election in Zambia have recommended that Zambia should enact a new constitution after these elections so as to avoid unnecessary costs in holding by-elections. The observers state that having a vice president as a running mate will help Zambia overcome such challenges in future. Electoral Institute for Sustainable Democracy in Africa, ASA President Kasam Utim, has further suggested that the new constitution should consider providing clauses which allow aggrieved stakeholders in an election to seek clarification before a candidate is sworn into office. Mr. Kasam explains that swearing in office a winning candidate in few hours of being elected leaves much to be desired.
The mission has made recommendations for improving future electoral processes in Zambia. The key among these are, within the framework of constitutional reforms, 1. Introduce the joint election of the President and Vice President as running mates on a single ticket to avoid costly and potentially disruptive presidential by-elections. 2. Introduce the election of the President by absolute majority, to strengthen the legitimacy of the office of the President. 3. Expand the period between the announcement of results and the presidential inauguration to allow for the full resolution of electoral complaints and appeals before the inauguration.
You are watching Prime Television's main news. We take another break, but still ahead in international news. DR Congo protests over census turned deadly. Stay tuned.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back. In international news, officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo say at least a dozen people have been killed in protest over a proposed law that the opposition fears will prolong President Joseph Kabila's time in power. Lambert Mende, the government spokesman, said on Thursday that 12 people had died in 3 days of unrest and pillaging that began on Monday. But a coalition of human rights groups says 42 people were killed by security forces firing on protesters. An uneasy calm returned to the capital Kinshasa on Thursday, but 4 more people died during demonstrations in the country's east. Lawmakers in Congo's lower house have passed a measure requiring a census before presidential elections next year. Critics say that would in effect delay elections. Kabila, in power since 2001, is barred from running again. King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz has died, royal officials have announced weeks after he was admitted to hospital. King Abdullah, who was said to be aged about 90, had been suffering from a lung infection. A statement early on Friday said his 79-year-old half-brother, Salman, had become king. Abdullah came to the throne in 2005 but had suffered frequent bouts of ill health in recent years. Well, for these plus many more international stories, we monitored Al Jazeera.
Arab leaders have gathered in Saudi Arabia for King Abdullah's funeral. His body has been moved from the mosque in Riyadh to its final resting place. The elderly monarch died in hospital after being admitted last month suffering from pneumonia. He ruled the country for 9 years. The new king of Saudi Arabia is Salman bin Abdul Aziz, who's been the crown prince since 2012. In an address broadcast on the state TV, King Salman promised to maintain the same approach as his predecessors.
We are going to continue with the approach of Father, King Abdullah Aziz, who built the state and is followed by his sons. We are going to continue to implement the Quran and the character of the Prophet Muhammad into our legislation.
Our other headlines in Ukraine, pro-Russia separatists are vowing to continue fighting for more territory. Rebel leaders in Donetsk have said they'll refuse to consider any new ceasefire plans, but they will exchange prisoners of war. It comes as the UN estimates that more than 5,000 people have been killed in the fighting since last April. The Japanese government has sent a top foreign ministry official to Jordan to help negotiate the release of 2 citizens held hostage by ISIL. It's demanding a $200 million ransom for their freedom. The deadline passed a few hours ago. Gamal and Alaa Mubarak, sons of former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak, have been released from prison. They were freed on Friday morning pending retrial in a case involving insider trading. They had been sentenced to 4 years in prison for embezzlement, but those charges were then overturned earlier this month. Liberia is about to receive its first shipment of Ebola vaccines. The batch was dispatched by British pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline. It says the shipment of an initial 300 vials of the vaccine will be the first to arrive in one of the 3 main Ebola-affected African countries. And senators in the Democratic Republic of Congo have backed down on an electoral bill that triggered deadly protests earlier this week. Politicians voted to remove a requirement for a census before next year's election, seen by protesters as a ploy to extend President Joseph Kabila's time in office.
To end the news, here are the headlines once again. Enacts a new constitution, election observers urge government. Water challenges electrified at Mulungoshi University. ECZ announced results from 121 constituencies. And finally, in international news, DR Congo protests over census turned deadly. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. On behalf of the production team and the news crew, my name is Abigail Mtale.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.